Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mystic Frequency. I'm Lisa, and I will be your tarot reader today to help unveil the potential insights February has to offer. However, when this reading finds you, no matter when it arrives, there's a message on the horizon to help assist in the coming weeks. Everyone is like a radio signal, and the frequency we wave out acts like a channel to receive guidance. So always remember, you are in control at all times, and what opportunities are shown today are not the only possible roads you can take. I am merely uncovering what your guides wish to reveal. And if a pile does not resonate or click, don't try to force it and look to another pile. There's 5 piles here. And try to find one that syncs with your energy alone. Also, check to see if there's someone around you who shares what is being said that sounds like another person, and take that as spirit's trying to come through so that way you can share that with another, and it would benefit them greatly. So there are 5 piles here to select from, with the last one being released on Patreon for $5, so I can support the channel and stay mystical with everyone, especially with new cards. Now, before we dive into intentions or anything else, I kind of wanted to talk about some February facts. Now, you are more than welcome to jump into the timestamps if you have already had your fill of what is in front of you and just dive into them, or you can stick around and listen to the February facts. So, February is named for the Latin word februm, which means purification. And I never knew that about February, so it changes what February can possibly be, because oftentimes we think about it as being the month of love. And when you put so much emphasis on trying to control relationships or trying to obtain a relationship, we forget that if we were to kind of do this purification ritual where we're cleansing ourselves, taking care of ourselves, we'd be attracting the love that we would want by giving the love that we need to ourselves with our own hands. Now, it is also known as a friendship month, so it ties in real well with Valentine's Day. And February invites us inward to look at love, introspection, and the dreams we long for. And the birth flowers for this month is violet and primrose, which tie with the symbolism with modesty, faithfulness, love, and new beginnings. When this month begins, it'll be starting in Aquarius, and then it'll take over and will pass off to Pisces starting February 19th. So Aquarius, this beginning of the month, you're trying to find your originality. You're trying to find how to be a philanthropist or have these progressive imaginings. It's these people who are humanitarians who are trying to fill a need. If they see there's a need in the collective or a need within their family and their love and their relationships, they try to fill it. They try to make it feel utopian. And then Pisces, going later on into the month, if I don't hit my crow, talks about intimacy, intuition, and compassion. So it makes sense that leading into weeks 2, because February 14th, I believe, falls at the end of week 2 and leads into week 3. I could be wrong, but so there's this desire for connection. There's this desire to have this bond that was created, and it was compassionate, and it has this sensualness to it, but it doesn't allow us to escape from our duties and responsibilities around us. So we will feel very, very intimate with others and ourselves around that time. The February moon will be called the snow moon. And I love that that is the name of this month, because we are currently under a snow advisory. Whatever this reading finds you, take it as you will. But we're actually supposed to have quite a bit of snow. And the full moon will be called the full moon in Leo. And this one says, don't let pride get in your way. But what's great about having this full moon in Leo is that it is giving you the authority back. You're questioning authority. You're questioning your visibility and your personal sovereignty. You're trying to regain that. And that'll be at the 1st of February, starting off. And so, what is personal sovereignty? Well, it's the ultimate authority over your own life, body, and choices. Right to self-governance, self-determination, and taking full responsibility for your actions and well-being. It is protecting your psychological space and defining what is acceptable to you. You are thinking about how you want to begin this month. No matter what pile you are entering into, you are choosing what is acceptable to you, and you are not settling for less. You're not going to let pride get in the way while you do this. The 3rd quarter moon will start February 9th, and then the new moon will be February 17th. And what's really cool about this, and unfortunate, is there will be an annular solar eclipse that day. But it's only visible from a very remote region in Antarctica. And then there are some parts in the world like Southern Africa and South America that can see a little glimpse of it. But I'm excited. So purification, renewal, and love, where it puts emphasis on self-love, inner awakenings, and honoring the past. I didn't know this about this, but there's a day set aside so that way you can honor your loved ones and just treasure the cycles that we have, where with death we have life, and with life we have death. It's seeing those and seeing those that we need to remember. But thank you for staying for the facts. I'm a big nerd. I love learning things and just broadening my horizons. But let's go ahead and dive into our benevolent intentions, because those are always important, and it gives you some space and time to keep breathing and focusing on what is the right piece of information for me. So, benevolent spirit guides, ancestors, the divine creator, and the highest good versions of our souls we can become, please help me channel a message that will resonate from the piles the listeners can choose from. Help reveal the months ahead. Help reveal the month ahead and the messages so the collective may prepare and take action. Thank you for your abundant resources. With much love and appreciation, your students and teachers. And now let's go ahead and look into the breath work. So we're going to do 3 deep breaths where we're going to focus, and then we're going to release, and then we're going to receive. So breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Now last one, breathe in, breathe out. And I almost forgot, but if you are ready for your pile, you're more than welcome to. But this is how each pile is going to break down. So the first one is the crystal icebreaker theme. And then we're going to look at the month affirmation. Then look at a self-love oracle that would benefit us. We're going to take our inner child too, because I always bring the inner child in here when we are looking ahead, and how we can give that inner child much more love, especially in the month of February. Then we're going to progress 4 weeks ahead with regular tarot. Then we'll dive into our charms and Scrabble, because I know I love it. And look at my artwork. But I'm excited, guys. So let's go ahead and dive into the piles that pile that you select, and I will see you on the other side. Hi, pile 1. Welcome. And if you're coming from another pile, welcome again. Let's go ahead and see what your February month is going to look like. And I love that you have chosen this one right here, because it reminds me of snakeskin, and snakes bring knowledge. Snakes, they show you how to shed your skin. But let's go ahead. So snakeskin agate, strength, privacy, self-love. Being comfortable in your own skin takes time. And snakeskin agate helps boost self-esteem and self-awareness, so you can do just that. Snakeskin agate gives you the confidence to step outside your comfort zone and explore new aspects of yourself, all within your discretion. Snakeskin agate can blend in with a crowd, so if you don't want to be seen and wish to carry on with your activities in peace, this is the stone for you. Snakeskin agate is able to facilitate a Kundalini rising and encourages full embodiment of self. We have Gemini and Mercury. So there's a lot to be communicated here because you were trying to be more aware of your actions. You're trying to be more aware of your thoughts and the choices you are making, especially the ones that help you embody a healthy self-esteem, where you feel good about your skin that you are in, where you're able to walk out with confidence. And you're just trying to find ways in which you are much more comfortable, especially when you are exploring things about yourself. So Kundalini risings, imagine at the base of your spine, there's this snake that is coiling and it's growing and it's growing and it needs to expand. So as it moves up through your body and all over your energy field, it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to make you want, it's almost like your skin's itching and wants to get rid of something that's been nagging at it. And it wants you to just embody yourself, your whole being, your mind, your soul, your heart, all of it. It wants to be one piece, one union. And I love that because this month, you're trying to make yourself a lot more stronger. But it's not for the view of others because there's this need for privacy. You want to be able to do all this work without attracting attention. And I know this is going to sound bad, but anytime you are working on yourself, it never fails. When you choose yourself first and your health and your well-being, you become the most magnetic thing to these positive opportunities, these positive relationships in your life, but you also become very attracted for all these lower energies that would love to come in and take advantage of this new you, this new version that you are showing outwardly. But do not let that discourage you, because you're going to be able to blend in with the crowd, because a lot of people are still working on themselves. They're still trying to find ways to bring balance to their world. Leading from January was talking about productive goals. It was talking about experiments. It's creating things. And it's also carrying over into this month where we're trying to nurture ourselves, where we're still trying to release these old images that we have. But I love that you chose this card, guys. Very good choice. All right, let's go ahead and look at your affirmation for this month. And you actually have 2 affirmations. So I am in the flow. You're no longer trying to fight a course. You're no longer trying to beat your head against a wall. You are no longer trying to fit a false standard that is presented into the media, that is presented into your environment, whatever the case may be. You are just doing what is right for you, that feels good to you this month. You are not trying to jump into someone else's river. You're not trying to jump into someone else's routines that they have going on that work for them. You are finding what flows for you and is best for you. And you are being much more confident this month. And this card talked about being very confident as well. Confident in your skin, confident that you can give yourself the things that you need. But you're confident that you are flowing in the right direction, and your guides want you to see this and tell yourself, I am doing exactly what I need to be doing. I'm being patient with myself and giving myself the love that I know I can only give. The self-care or the self-love oracle that would benefit you is repeat to yourself 3 times, I love you, and then put your name here. And I'll give you some reasons why I love you right now. I love you because you were willing to change for your highest good. You were willing to go through these difficult cycles, these difficult skin sheds in order to bring more confidence and more positivity into your world. You are loving yourself, and I love that you are doing that because you deserve to be able to do that for yourself. So I love you because of this. Oh, love it. Okay, now we can't forget our inner child. So as we are going into our months throughout this entire year, that is my main focus, everyone, is making sure your inner child feels loved and supported. So what does the little you say? The little you says, be still. To stay needlessly busy is to stay distracted. Something that can help us survive our pains and troubles, but does nothing to heal them. Though it may seem daunting, take the time to be still, relax, and let your senses rest. Putting all sources of stimulus, putting away all of them. Let the silence envelop you and let yourself just be. If you feel uncomfortable in your skin, snakeskin agate is going to help you figure out ways to find that comfortability that you desire. But you got to be still for it. You got to see where it is you are moving within you, up through your chakra systems, or just where you are in your life. What feels uncomfortable? What needs to be shed? What needs to change in this moment? But be still. You may even feel like looking at the aurora lights because there's just this iridescent beauty that nature invites us to look at and see that when it's dark, there is so much light and rainbows all around us. And be still. Look at the cycles you are in. Look at the moon that's here. Where are you on this mountain? Are you in the clouds? Are you in this home? Are you out here exploring? But allow yourself to be still. Let's go ahead and get into week 1. So week 1, we have the 9 of Wands upright. You are at the final challenge before reaching a goal in this first week. You had a lot of resilience, a lot of courage and persistence, and it almost felt as if you were having this test of faith, this what am I being tested for? What am I having to guard myself against? What am I enduring? But this talks about how if you are going through these trials, if you are doing this work for yourself, these wands are not so much a prison, but they are a cloak. So that way you may go on your journey as if you had this Ace of Wands guiding you. And there was 2 quotes for this pile, and for this week, the main quote that I wrote down was by Helen Keller, who was a blind and deaf author. Character cannot be developed in ease and quiet. Only through experiences of trial and suffering can the soul be strengthened, vision cleared, ambition inspired, and success achieved. So there's a lot for you that you are having to think about how you're wanting to invest your energy this month. But whatever you were doing in the previous month leading up to this first week, you have something to gain than most people. And you're about to be rewarded greatly this week. And so the 9 of Wands will probably lead into the 10 of Wands, which will feel it'll feel very exhaustive, but you're completing something. You're ending a cycle and you are renewing. So think of this moment this week as something you are attaining. It's like you found the chest while you were out here trying to be still. And that's why these wands are around you, is because your inner child's coming through and says, I need you to be still. Be still and listen. Don't allow yourself to get caught up in the hums and throes of February. Don't try to immerse yourself into what February is known for. I want you to see February different. I want you to see February as a way to purify yourself. And if you do that at the beginning of this week, you will be in more flow. You will be much more confident. And you have no problem. And people will try to come in here. People will try to test this boundary that you have up. But you're not going to entertain them. And it is at the beginning of the week. And I love that it is looking at Aquarius, because you're not going to let someone take what is unique to you away from you, because you want to progress. You are no longer allowing yourself to be stuck any longer. So you're going to be still and you're going to sit here and progress and give yourself the love you deserve. You're going to heal in this moment. The second week, we have the Page of Pentacles upright. So how can I manifest even more? Once you find that you were here and you were still, it's like someone throws a coin in between these cracks. And you're giving yourself all this love. You're giving yourself and throwing all these coins at yourself. And now you have all of this wealth, this abundance. It can be financial abundance. It could be knowledge. It could be spiritual abundance. It could be the relationships that are healthy around you. That's abundant. But now you're trying to figure out, how can I take this to the next level? How can I manifest more with what I currently have? I've got all this energy around me, protecting me. Now, what do I do with this? How can I make this more physical, more tangible? How can I take what I'm doing right now and develop my skills even further? So the second quote for week 2 says, write it down. Written goals have a way of transforming wishes into wants, can'ts into cans, dreams into plans, and plans into reality. Do not just think it, ink it. The author is unknown who wrote this quote, but I found it very fitting for your pile. Because this is the pile that who's trying to create that utopia for themselves. They want that. They see a need. You may see someone that is like this and you're like, oh, let me show you how to do this. And it's like you are the person that is being the Page of Pentacles, showing others by doing the work yourself. Now let's go ahead and dive into week 3. Week 3, we have the Ten of Swords. It's finding the will to rise and gain again. You had to really think about, in this second week, how can I manifest more? How can I create more from this? And you got your answer in the Ten of Swords because you knew something was going to have to end. There was a wound that may have been inflicted that you were trying to heal with the self-love and bringing your inner child here to be still. And that's why you're still here, is because you're trying to heal. You're trying to bring that inner child in here. And you're discovering there's a lot of things that may have happened. A lot of things that were deep. There was a lot of losses. There was a lot of crisis. But you knew that this is how you were going to manifest more and gain a renewed sense of hope. And there's opportunity on the horizon. You are going to be able, because look at this river right here. Once you do the work that needs to be done in the 10 of Swords, because you knew this is what you were going to have to do, then you will be able to let these vines grow and take what is wounding you out of your back, so you may roll into the river and cleanse and let it take you to the next week, the next month, the next year. What is something that you should be closing from your life? You can go ahead and look at this in the current moment and set aside time for this 3rd week to think about what is something that is closing this week. This 3rd week is leading into Pisces energy. So think about the intimacy that you may have had with others that did not make you feel good. That is something you can release. This 3rd week, think about your intuition and if you've ever blocked it off from being able to think clearly or to have compassion for yourself in this moment, because you need to have compassion for yourself, compassion for your inner child, compassion for who you are in this moment. And then allow yourself to say, what can I learn from these painful endings? Because this is how you're going to gain more. And what new opportunities are going to emerge because of this? My pile 1, you are the most inspirational pile that I've come to be a part of. And there's something I can learn from y'all and your journey that you are about to be embarking on. And I love that you are doing this. You're looking to see what will help you manifest more. And then you said, it's time for me to go within and finally save a part of myself that has been stuck in the past. Part of myself that I thought was dead, I'm bringing back. So week 4, we have the Empress in reverse. So you're rediscovering your beauty. You're looking at if there's any kind of creative blocks that you may have had because of this dependence that you've had on how others view beauty or how others expressed their beauty. So it's like you depended on your standard being the standard of what was in front of you. And you knew that that was something you were going to have to kill in week 3. Because self-love, self-care, that's the priority with the Empress in this last week. And you've been doing that throughout this entire month. This is where your personal power will be given to you. And think about, don't let pride get in your way. Full moon in Leo, where you have your sovereignty returned. Do something just for you this week. Not what someone else wants to do. I want you to choose something right now that you want to do in the last week of February that is just for you, that makes you feel intimate with yourself, that makes you feel very, very compassionate and giving to yourself. It would also be a great time. I know it will be in February, but allow yourself to look at nature and notice these little things around you. Notice the trees, notice the life that steers, in the field or under the snow or wherever you may be in the world. Maybe you're on a beach somewhere, but notice how beautiful the little things are around you. It could even be rocks. I love rocks, guys. It's those kinds of things, but stop the self-critic. Stop the self-critic when it comes to how you look and the shape of your body. Give love for the lovely curves, lumps, bumps, whatever you may have. Give love for that because it's beautiful. And I know I didn't really talk a whole bunch about relationships, but pile 1, you are so focused on yourself right now. You are so focused on yourself because you have realized by spending so much of your time and energy in other people's energy cycles that they were in, You weren't being able to love yourself or receive the love that was supposed to be magnetic and be reciprocated to you. So for my singles, rather than waiting for the right person, plan the steps required to find a deserving relationship, a relationship that deserves you. And look towards these very recent losses, or if you've had a tough breakup, and focus on healing rather than looking for another, because that's a step that's going to help you. And if you are scared that you're going to get hurt again, know that as long as you have these boundaries around you and you stay committed to your core truths, you're not going to have someone come in here who was not meant for you. And don't allow yourself to be too aloof or standoffish. If you do decide to look for love, but you've got yourself closed off, like in this, if you close yourself off, you want love, but you got yourself closed off, you're going to have to be able to open up. And by opening up, I mean talking about your hobbies, talking about your passions, talking about what you desire, what you want to manifest for your future, and talk about how you want to end things on a good note, and just be able to put more emphasis into yourself. And that may be why you're closed off, is because you just really want to focus on yourself. Now, for my people who are in relationships, this is a month where you really want to think about scheduling these date nights, these weekends away where you can have quality time together, and think about what the essential component is that keeps a relationship together. Is there something that your partner or you, that you both are doing? Are you spending too much time investing into each other? Are you investing into your own needs? You need to embrace change. So there's a lot of change going on here this month, and you may be wondering, how can I invest more in this week 2? And then in week 3, it's, oh my God, am I doing this by myself? Kind of energy. So, and don't allow yourself to always be in defense mode, my relationship couples. Listen to what others' opinions have, and don't allow yourself to hide a part of yourself. Otherwise, it's going to create this distrust and this inability to be able to stand by them, because you want to be able to stand with your partner. So there's a lot here for my collective group. Now, I didn't talk about career because I felt February was more about self-love, loving others, giving love. And so just take the information that is revealed and see how you can apply that at work, because your career, those are relationships too. Yes, it may feel as if you are on guard with everyone around you and you're wondering, how can I make the most of my time while I'm here? And that can sometimes mean I'm going to have to end something. Either I'm going to have to end entertaining others, or in trying to be something that does not fit my core values while I'm here at this company. But I want to be able to feel beautiful. I want to be able to feel like I can create. So this month, in a career, think about what could grow from this. What is something you want to stop doing? But that is your pile, my dear pile 1. Thank you so much for watching and listening. And if you enjoyed this content, please like, comment, subscribe so you can see more just like this. And if you know anybody that may be going through this that would benefit greatly from this information, please share. Sharing is caring. But I'm going to go ahead and get over into the next pile. Bye, pile 1. Pile 1, I was just joking. I almost forgot your Scrabble. So February for my pile 1s, really think and give yourself some attention to what you may forget, what may get trapped in the back of your mind. So that may be why Spirit had me do a complete block from what I normally would do. So allow yourself to sit down and give attention, pay attention to the adjustments that you need to make this month. So each week, every day, what do I need to adjust today? What's working for me? What's not working for me? But really allow yourself to sit. Pay yourself this time. Give yourself the compassion that you need, and just allow yourself to adjust so that way you're not blocked off. Your charms are, so this is a voodoo doll that has an orange head and the rest of his body is black. So your desires, the things that you want, the things that you need, don't let them be blocked this month. Allow your head to think clearly and see what it is that you wish to do. It could be taking a bath, relaxing, it could be learning something new, but really pay attention to what you're wanting to do, what you need. And don't close yourself off. Don't allow yourself to not communicate your needs. This is it's the promise to ride the waves, noticing the cycles and being the strong center in the middle. So this is a ring, and this ring reminds me of high tides and low tide waves, practicing your energy levels, knowing the cycles here. And then we have this safety pin right here, or safety pin. It's a clothespin. It's a chip bag clip of some kind, and it's what are you wanting to pinch together? Oh, okay, Spirit. Okay, I want you to look at your body and stop trying to pinch things, trying to force things to close up, because the snake skin wants you to open your skin. It doesn't want you to close it off. It wants you to open it up so that way you can invite much more sustaining energy in. And the other thing I was thinking is like, think about what you need to close off, what you need to let go. And then this is a fox, and it talks about intelligence. It's having a long life. It's having spiritual power, the ability to shape shift, and to be able to see illusions for what they are. And this is a benevolent celestial fox. So I encourage y'all to try to put a little bit of fox energy in your world. And foxes, they're very clever, and it can signify that there is potential for a very long-lasting relationship, so long as you continue to give yourself the attention that you need. Okay, pile one, I'm heading out to the next pile now. Bye. Hi, pile two. Or if you're coming in from another pile, welcome again. Let's go ahead and look at your February insights ahead with your crystal icebreaker being the theme. So we have this pink energy coming through, and so it makes me think of being able to understand the importance of compassion, being able to understand the importance of being able to heal and just provide self-love to yourself. But I really love this pink energy. So pink halite, self-love, replenish, cherish. Vibrating with love, pink halite allows you to shed layers of negative thought patterns and beliefs as you connect to the essence of your true self. Pink halite helps you embrace new spiritual practices as a way of life, preventing you from picking up bad habits to begin with. With this stone, you will make choices out of self-love, honoring the highest version of yourself and trusting that you will make decisions for your highest good. Pink halite is a natural form of the mineral salt, known to cleanse toxins from the aura and replenish one's energy field. We've got Cancer and Pisces here with Earth. Yes. My favorite thing about this stone is making choices out of self-love and trusting that you're doing something for your highest good. And you're telling yourself, I'm not going to pick up a bad habit this month. I'm not going to let someone come into my life or make me, because I spent all the work in this previous month in January. This month, I know it is a month about relationships, but this month, I am not going to let any kind of relationship come in and ruin the hard work that I am putting into myself. I am trying to think clearly, where I am allowing positive thoughts to come through, where I can replenish based off of how I feel about myself, how I cherish myself. But this month, my dear pile 2, you're going to connect to the essence of your true self, and I love that. So what is your self-affirmation for this month, for February? I am hopeful. You've got to have a little hope. You've got to be able to see the stars. You've got to be able to see that there's hope in you. There's hope in the actions that you do. When you're hopeful, it really drives you forward and helps you move the way you should move. Because when you're hopeful, you have some kind of guidance. That means you were given a sign here. And that's what's bringing you hope. And then your self-love oracle is be your own wish fulfillment. Yes. So rather than waiting for a star to shoot across the sky and making a wish upon it, you're telling yourself what wish you want, and then you're being the star that fulfills that wish. That's why you're hopeful, because you are the star. You're the one that's shining. You're the one that is being cherished, and you're cherishing your wishes. You're creating that utopia, that part of you that has these dreams that you have, where you want to be more intimate with yourself, where you want to trust your intuition. So I love that. Love it, love it. Now, what does your inner child need for this month? So, gratitude brings abundance. The act of gratefulness is a door that leads into abundance of spirit and heart, allowing us to more deeply enjoy this life that we live. Set aside time today to remember all that you have been thankful for, inviting your feelings of gratitude to overflow every part of your being with their dazzling warmth and light. Be thankful. Thank the abundance that you have right now. Thank the Lord or the divine, or whatever your belief system is. Be thankful that you can create whatever you want to manifest in this life. Be thankful that you can do that with your own hands, with that own choice, that own free will. Be thankful that you can transform. Be thankful that you can just go anywhere you want in this world. As long as you allow yourselves to see that you have wings. And these wings make me think of ancestors because they're very faint. They're not like these wings, which are much more physical and present, but be thankful for those that brought you up, who have helped you find ways to cherish yourself, because they want you to see that you are bringing so much more harmony into your life now than you've ever thought possible. Week 1 for February, we have the 6 of Wands in reverse. So there's a lot of need to cooperate with yourself, to communicate with yourself, to ask yourself, what is going to bring me more harmony, where I can celebrate my private achievements and define what I think is success. What is my personal definition of success? And how can I allow myself to, and this is a quote by Abraham Lincoln, do not worry when you are not recognized, but strive to be worthy of recognition. So do not worry when you are not recognized, but strive to be worthy of recognition. So think about ego, thinking of like an ego death, thinking of being more integrative, because you want to create a world that is balanced here. And you want to celebrate by you going within and changing the world within. You are winning here. You're not falling from grace by choosing yourself. So this first week, there's something here to be celebrated. There's a win. There was this battle that had occurred possibly towards the end of January, and you made big waves. You made these changes that needed to happen. You may have picked up other people's battles that you knew that they couldn't do. And now that battle may be trying to turn inwards because you thought you were doing something that was good for whoever was around you, but it feels like no one is celebrating. It's like, I did the thing that everybody wanted me to do. Why is no one celebrating? Well, that's what's wrong, is I did the thing I thought everyone wanted me to do. Do the thing that you think that you want to do. That is your standard of success this week. Do not try to match what everyone else's trophies look like, because that'll be much more different to you than it is for another person. So celebrate. Come home to this inner victory this week. In week 2, we have the Two of Cups in reverse. And I'll make sure you can see the artwork on it. And I love that this image, it's like a battle against yourself, because this looks like the inner demon of this individual right here. And it's like, this is much more rough. This is much more exposed and much more darker than this individual is. And it's like, when you're putting your head against yourself and you're trying to find ways to bring acceptance into this, where you accept yourself, you see your worth, you're not being stubborn any longer, because there's this bull right here. So it's like, are you being stubborn with yourself and your wants and your desires and the people that are around you? Like, so self-love is a big theme here for week 2. But look at what's being shaken up around you. Look and see if there's like, not so much a relationship breakup, but look and see what is breaking up around you. What's crumbling? What's coming through? So if you were hoping that the people around you would be happy about this, and they weren't celebrating your wins, they weren't celebrating the fact that you created the life that you wanted, or you found something, and no one is like, they're not with you. They don't, it's like they don't care. So it's like, why am I around these buffoons then? Why am I around these people who do not care whether I am successful or not? So you're looking at these relationships that have no place in your life, and you're looking to see, maybe this is something I need to break up from, because there's disharmony here and I don't like it. Makes me feel distrustful. And I'm really hoping this is not someone that is coming home from war of any kind, and then they came home from war and they were successful, and then they come to this. It's not a home welcoming. It's more like something is wrong with the relationships around them. It's like things have changed. No one is as they seem to be. Nobody is receptive to you like they should have been. Or they have taken it's like they've forgotten about you, is what I'm hearing. It makes you feel as if you were forgotten about, and everybody's life kind of like moved away. Everybody they grew up. But this week, you're trying to find more self-love than you've probably have found in a long time. Even when you cannot trust the people around you. So if you are in a relationship and you know there's some shaky things that are going on already leading into February, Don't let what another person's actions or action does or did or what they do define your worth. Doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. That's a them problem. And if they ever tried to say, well, I left because you were doing your own thing. You just left and I don't even know what you were doing. So I thought that that was the sign. And so that's for a small selective group. And I'm going to make sure that you don't have anything negative like that that's going to happen. But I do want to bring that to your attention. You will define what you think is a successful relationship this week right here, and then use the second week to determine what is going to cause the most distrust, or what is it going on in this week really. And then for and there's a need for healthy exchange of emotional energy this week. Being able to, like, if people don't reciprocate you a certain way, don't carry that into this week. Don't let that beat you down. Don't let your pride get in the way this week from being able to love others. So we have the Queen of Wands. It's like she's ready to take back control, guys. So you're finding your courage. You were already courageous, just so you were aware of. You were already resilient, but you're much more confident in week 3. And you're finding, like, I'm much stronger with my independence when I put myself first, and I'm not depending on someone else to feed me the love or the attention that I crave and that I feel like I deserve. I'm giving that to myself. And you're being much more social with others. Whereas these first couple weeks, you're kind of closed off, taking care of yourself. This third week, you're like, boom, walk out the door. I'm ready to go. Let's do this. And you're causing people don't understand, like, you're causing an eruption to happen here in this third week. And people can feel it. They can feel the ground shake below them. They can feel you dancing. They can feel you just embodying what it means to be a Queen of Wands. And you're very determined. Because look at that look on her face. She's very determined here. And this reminds me of the quote by Theodore Roosevelt, to walk softly but carry a big stick. That's the stick you are carrying into this third week. So love it, guys. I love that you've got the Queen Wands in the third week. And the Queen Wands can also talk about really looking at your spirituality, because she normally has this black cat. So it's fitting that Pisces energy has this exploring the realm. But don't allow yourself to escape from these couple of weeks. Be confident. Be thankful that you took this time to do this. The last week we have the Page of Cups in reverse. So there's going to be a whole bunch more new ideas that are going to be coming in at the end of this month. Because of the confidence you had and the way you were expressing yourself, you were this social butterfly, you were talking to people, you were just doing you, not caring about anybody else. And an idea came in, whether it be from someone else, whether it be at work, whatever the case may be, something came through. And whatever that idea was, you were like, oh my God, that's not how I was going to end this month. So you were like, oh gosh, I'm a little bit doubting myself. I'm doubting that I have the ability to keep this energy going forward. Can I really be this Queen of Wands into this next week, into this next month? Can I always be this Queen of Wands? Yes, you can. But this week also talks about there may be people around you that are emotionally immature, who could come in your circle and make you doubt this queen. And for a second, it feels like it's working, but you've had all the signs here to say that you're choosing yourself first. You're choosing to let things shake up on their own accord and break off. So that way you don't have to keep entertaining it. So you can go out and just do what you want to do that makes you feel good. And so you're looking towards, and because this is reversed and it's like going inward, what can I do and if you do have a creative block, or you're just, oh my God, what am I going to do? The best thing to do for that is to go and look at someone else's work. Go and look at someone else's art, or even look to see what makes a divine connection, because this makes me think of the red divine line, where unexpectedly spirit is hopping through and you just see the spirit, but you don't see that your foot is being wrapped up in this moment, and it's taking you off your feet, and it left you wondering, what is next? Where is this taking me? Where is this relationship going to take me? This relationship I have with myself. Is this something that I can keep doing? So don't doubt yourself. Allow yourself to just replenish your energy, and just think about what you want. What bad habits that you don't want to pick up this month. And just continue to make choices out of self-love, especially in this last week. And here it is, it's talking about replenish one's energy field. But let's go ahead and look at your charms and Scrabble before we kick it off here. All right, here's your charms. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into your Scrabble, because there's a promise here that needed to be made where you are going to constantly be adjusting your energy here. And because this word came out and it was like the first thing I seen, so I scrabbled it out. But then I was left over here with the remaining letters. And I was like, it looked like a face to me. It looked like... But then I thought, well, no, if I were to imagine that this is like a cycle where there's arrows kind of leading into each other, it's where you're allowing yourself to adjust accordingly. So that way you don't have this sense of doubt, where you remember the promise you made at the beginning and you carry it throughout the week. You remember that promise, remember that new idea, remember how you doubted yourself and then proved yourself otherwise. But let's dive into these charms. A lot of things can be very irritating. There's a lot of things that come into our life, and sometimes it can be unavoidable. It can be these delays. It could be just things that really frustrate us. And this shell talks about the things that used to irritate us are being cleansed, because February talks about purification. You're cleansing something so that way you can allow yourself to see the pearl that you've been protecting, that you have been very grateful for. This is a compass, and the way I use this compass is I want you to think about your true north that will allow you to flow and not have to try so hard, where you are not trying to jump into someone else's river. And I talked about this in the first pile because of their affirmation that they had. So you are promising yourself to think about what is true to you and where your inner guidance is taking you. And if it's something that you were meant to be doing. And then this is an Anubis ring. So think about the cycles between life and death, what needs to end, and what bad habits that can cause these cycles to come in over and over and over again, and how you can purify that essence, so that way you may be able to move on into the next chapter of your life. And then this ring used to have a gem in it right in the center, and this ring used to come out quite often in all my other pickup piles, and it used to frustrate me because this ring looks like a prison to me, where people and their expectations are overloading you. And when you have these promises that you have made to yourself, and you're like, oh my God, I can't even fulfill these promises I've made. I can't fulfill the promises I made with these people. So beginning of this week, think about promises you can't fulfill in this moment. Don't try to give something you don't even have. If you don't have the energy to entertain this relationship right here, don't do it. Allow yourself to go within and adjust. And then when you're able to come out again and be the social butterfly, then you're going to be good. But you found a way out of this prison. You just had to go to the top where your intuition was so you could leave it. And y'all had Leo energy coming in here heavily. So Leos, being courageous, being authentic, being able to step in the light, this light right here, being okay to turn that light within you, being okay with putting the lights around you. That's the Leo energy that's trying to come through, and your charm wants you to feel that. And this is a dollar bill, and it talks about you're going to receive some kind of financial abundance coming through. And it's so gratitude brings abundance. So every time you are grateful, you say thank you, and use situation, behavior, and the impact people made, and you will find how rewarding that is. And so we have this pin that was given to me by a lady that she didn't work there. She was a customer, and she came in and she had this tie-dye shirt that I really loved because I love rainbows. I love tie-dyes. And I complimented her. I said, wow, I really love your tie-dye shirt. And she said, oh, I made it myself. And she was just so happy that someone complimented her. And she said, here, I've got a pin here that I've designed myself as well. And she handed me this pin, Love Like Jesus. And she was loving others without expecting something in return. She was just giving and just moving on. When people, it's like loving this part of yourself, because this ascended master, Jesus, he loved the ugly, he loved the beautiful, he loved the rich, he loved the poor, he loved it all. So how can you bring that into here? And this is a little dog, and which it's always like when I'm laying these out, I don't think about how I'm laying them out until I'm thinking about it in this moment. So look to see who is this loyal companion around you that's dancing between your legs and who has been looking at you with these puppy dog eyes, waiting for you to see that they're about to have you wrapped around their finger. And this could be you may want a pet of your own at the end of this month. And you're probably like, can I even do that? Can I get a pet? But you're also like, but if I had a pet, this dog would be happy to see me every time I came home compared to this energy right here. So you're kind of thinking about those kinds of things. And this is an owl who has lost its body. So there's this need, it's got hearts on the back of it, to bring love to your mind so your heart can connect to your brain, and just trust your intuition, trust the truth that needs to be expressed, and just to allow yourself to shine. And this is a bell. So you got this hope, you've got these wishes. Now you have the bell to believe. And it makes me think of Polar Express, even though this isn't Christmas or anything, but it's like, believe. Do you believe? Do you believe in your own magic? Do you believe in your abundance. But pile 2, that is your reading. Thank you so much for watching and listening. And if you enjoyed this content, please like, comment, and subscribe so you can see more content like this. And let me know how it resonates. I'd love to know. And if you know anybody that may be going through this that would benefit greatly from this information, please share. Sharing is caring. But I'm going to go ahead and head out, guys. Bye. Hi, pile 3. Or if you're coming in from another pile, welcome. Let's go ahead and dive into your crystal icebreaker theme for the insights for February. And I love that you chose this. And I didn't think about that till I laid the cards out, but it reminded me of Crash Bandicoot, the gems that you had to get inside the game. And so it brought back a good childhood memory for me. So Tanzanite, transmutation, illumination, psychic. Connecting you to spiritual realms and beyond, Tanzanite assists in living with more awareness and bringing spirituality into your day-to-day. It helps navigate your journey between altered states of consciousness, from deep meditation to assessing psychic powers. Metaphysical abilities are enhanced with this stone, creating a direct line of communication between you and your spiritual team. Tanzanite unveils your true path, transmuting the old into the new, and acknowledging that the road is ever winding. Your journey is in constant flow. Trust your path. So we have Gemini, Libra, Sagittarius, Pisces, and Jupiter in this stone. So this month, you're bringing your spirit with you, and you're trying to bring it every day. So the day-to-day, where you aren't just leaving it one corner of the month. You're going to be bringing it every single week with you. You are leaning in on your guides more now and trusting them. And so you may have these, it's like these dreams that come to you, or you just pick up with your emotions and the way people are feeling. You're able to tune into that. And because Pisces is heavily in here, it's helping you lead forward with Sagittarius. And it's like no secrets can be held from you. And you know how to bring that balance and order back. But it's helping you see your true path that is in front of you. And leaning in from January, going into February, you're looking at, how can I take what has been unfolded from my previous month, and how can I transmute that? How can I do something with that and make it new and different, where I can do something? I can change my path. I can change the road for this month based off of the previous knowledge I had. But you're also looking ahead. You're like, doing what I need to do right now is going to help me in the next month, and then so on and so forth. But things are being illuminated for you. So what is your affirmation for this month? So we have, I am unique. Anybody that is able to tap into their psychic abilities, anybody that is able to pick up on things that can be scary at times. It's like when you're able to actually commune with your spiritual team, when you're able to see the animal signs, or just the subtle differences in the vibrations in the world. That's what makes you unique, and you are okay with that. You are okay with being different from the collective. You are okay with creating something that is more fitting to you, where you are not trying to fit someone else's mold. And the great thing about Aquarius coming in here is that's how you're going to be able to harness that, because it's all about originality and being okay that you're going to progress through this without having to change yourself at all. Not in a negative way. Yes, you should be changing and growing, but you don't have to change for the wrong reasons. You don't have to block off your spirituality. You can just own it and not have a care in the world. So like, it makes me think of somebody that I will go out wearing a witch hat, it doesn't matter what time of the year, or somebody that really likes these nice cloaks and loves to go into the woods, loves doing little witchy things. It doesn't have to be witchy things. It's just whatever aligns to your spirituality, you're going to want to be able to express that. You're going to want to feel intimate with it. And you want to be compassionate with your spirituality. But the self-love oracle for this month is think of something or someone that immediately makes you laugh. And so going back to your spiritual team, think of someone you have looked up to, or a guide, or, because I have funny guides. When my guides come through, they're very funny and they make me laugh. Or this is someone that is no longer here that you remember something they said and it makes you laugh. They bring you out of a state of, what's the word? Like when they notice that you're down, they'll come in and then you'll remember it. That's your guides coming through. That's that psychic connection that you have with your spiritual team and your ancestors coming through. But think of something. Find ways to really bring that laughter, because laughter can be so healing. Your inner child, what they need for love this month is to practice freedom. Judgments that have been placed upon us by ourselves or by others can shackle us, stealing our joy and will to live. Take time to remove these judgments, writing down what you have believed in the past to be true. Do not let these judgments define you. Release personal mistakes and criticisms, practicing forgiveness with yourself. Yes, free yourself from limitations. You are unique. Don't let how people perceive you determine what path you should be doing for yourself. And yes, we all make mistakes, but we need to be able to forgive ourselves. But write down in this moment, what did you believe to be true in the past and it's no longer true for you in the current moment? Let me know in the comments what you find, what you discover. All right, let's go ahead and dive into your week 1. So we have the 3 of Pentacles upright. So we have teamwork with your spiritual team coming through. We have this collaboration effort where we are learning how to be able to work together here, because the way I like to look at this is, imagine that you're trying to build a church for yourself. A church that hadn't been built in a very, very long time, and it should have been built for you. The one that makes you not feel so separated from the rest of the collective. And when you are trying to build this church, you need to think about, what do you want the foundation to be? What do you want the values to be? What do you want the church to look like? What do you want it to have as its artwork within it? And who is going to be doing this? So it's assigning this work and knowing who is best suited for which role as they're building it. Because you don't want the electrician to be doing the plumber's work, and you don't want the plumbers to be doing the groundwork, if that makes sense, or the details. And it's not saying that they couldn't interchange and do those things. It's that knowing who is best suited for the right thing and communicating with each other. Your mind, body, and spirit. Those are 3 things that need to be working together. And And it's all about how are you going to implement this right here? How do you want to implement it? Now because this does make me think of talking about a career of some kind, because this talked about a path. So maybe you're trying to figure out ways to use your spirituality day to day that can bring you abundance, and how you can bring people with you in on this. It's like, I'm trying to establish this business. I'm trying to create something here. And it's just like, where's the ladder? What ladder do I need to climb? Because you're up here. They're all painting different things, but you are up here with your guides much closer than these people are who are physically on the ground. Some people have tried to stand up. They try to get a little bit closer to the divine, but others are just comfortable just sitting where they are. And the thing that makes you very unique is you don't want to be like these. You just want to be yourself. And there's these two doors here in the background. One door will take you to normalcy. The other door takes you to your spirituality, really. The thing that is far more different than what we perceive to be normal. In week 2, we have the 6 of Wands in reverse, and we have the 6 of Swords in reverse. So we have 2 6s here. We have 3, 6, and 6. So a lot of communication is needing to be done here, and there's something that needs to be cooperated. It's like you need to be able to cooperate when Spirit is trying to lead you or help you or assist you or try to bring harmony in your life. And this card came out in pile 2. So if you felt called to pile 2, you are more than welcome to jump on over after this. But the 6 of Wands in reverse, it's these private achievements that we obtain, the battles that we have won. And rather than looking towards the people around us to celebrate this victory, we're doing it for ourselves. And we are defining what is a personal definition of success, where we are not saying, just because I am doing something much differently with my life, that does not make me unworthy of recognition. That does not make me unworthy of being financially abundant just because I have a different career than others, is what I'm getting. Because this is something I feel like you may have a career out of doing. And even if you don't have, like if you pick this pile and you were like, what do you mean spiritual? What do you mean psychic abilities? What do you mean? Well, then take this as you are doing something that is much more different than the rest of the people. While everyone is doing normal jobs, whether it be in retail, or I'm thinking of firefighters, policemen, doctors, nurses, scientists, you name it, whatever it is, whatever you're doing that is much more different than the rest of the world, celebrate that, because if it makes you feel successful, it is deserving of your time and energy. It is how you are creating your own utopia. And with the 6 of Swords being in reverse as well, nope, yes, it was in reverse as well. So personal transitions, you're trying to work in this second week. And it's like you want to celebrate, you want this victory so bad. And you started to feel a little bit of resistance here for this. There was some resistance here from what was going on in this first week. And it's like slowing the boat down. It's like halting you from moving further. And there may have even been unfinished business from the Three of Pentacles week, from week 1. Think about what you needed to close off. If you had a victory and it was in reverse, think about how other people, okay, this, I know I'm kind of like getting a little skewed up here, but let me kind of put this in a different light for you so that way I can share this. You were given a project. You were given a path by divinity itself. And they gave you a team in order to do this. They communicated what needed to be done, what they expected, and this can be even work related. It doesn't need to be spirituality. So take it what fits or clicks. And you finished the project, thought it was all said and done, but there's something in the back of your mind that says something is unfinished here. I can't celebrate until this is done. I can't move forward until this is put to rest, until this project is completely finished. And for like relationships, like if we're talking about a relationship, it's what do you want to build in this relationship? What were y'all trying to do in this first week? Were y'all financing into a home? Were you trying to sign off on agreements? Were you trying to make sure the plumber and the electrician were going to be able to meet their deadlines? And then they said, oh yeah, we're done. Everything's checked off. And then in the second week, you discovered there was still so much more that needed to be done. And you thought you were going to be able to celebrate. And that didn't happen. But that is week 2. I'm sorry, that it's hard when you have a spirituality reading coming into a month reading that is heavily focused on relationships and self-love and purification. But that could be where spirit is coming through, is you're doing a lot of purification this month. You're purifying your home. You're purifying your building. You're purifying your work. You're purifying the transition along the way. In week 3, we have the Ace of Cups upright. And this makes me think of initiation of some kind. You know how I think it's a baptism, or where you become baptized, where you your head is dunked into a river or a holy source. And so this makes me think there's this new beginning relationship that you are having with your spiritual team. There's a lot more compassion. There's a lot more creativity. But it's just like you're actually, rather than holding the cup up or having the cup handed to you like in normal tarot decks, how it shows a cup coming in on a cloud, we actually have someone here drenching their head in it, like they're trying to purify their thoughts. They're trying to purify their emotions. They're trying to heal themselves with these new connections that they have, because this is new connections. New connections to this building block. Maybe you realized you needed more people to come in on this to get it done faster, to get it up to code, to make the relationship work. You needed to bring in more love to the situation. But week 3, it's like you're slapping your cheeks and then you're trusting your gut and you're just putting your head in it and letting whatever needs to surface, whatever needs to fall out of this cup will fall out of this cup, because you're trusting this. Let me see, what are all these in? I think they're leaves and flowers, lily pads, things like that. But I'm feeling an emotional release right now. But your last week We have the Eight of Wands in reverse. Going back to week 2, it's like you do the work, you think you're done doing the work, and then you realize you're not done with the work. And then you do another purification cycle where you are pouring more love, and then you pull your head out and you're like, am I done now? Did I do the thing that I was supposed to do? And then you're like, oh no, I'm not done at all. It's like, so we have the Eight of Wands. It's like you feel frustrated, and it's like you want to resist this so bad. Resist the change that needs to come in. There's this internal alignment that is trying to help you. And it's asking you to slow down and consider your next steps, to not rush into things. Wait till things become more stable and predictable. Allow yourself to get your life in order, where you are focusing on your physical health, your emotional well-being, your energy levels, or spirituality. Now, let me break this down, because your reading was a lot more all over the place. This reading is probably going to pull in a lot of different people here. So I want to try to get the right group for everybody. But ultimately, because this was the main theme for this month for my pile 3s, you're going through transmutations, you're illuminating things on your life, and you're allowing these psychic capabilities, these psychic intuitions, you're just tapping into the unknown, and looking to see, what does Spirit have planned for me? How can Spirit help me find personal victories? How can Spirit help me release what I need to let go of so I can move forward and bring more love into this situation, and not be frustrated when I need to change. When it's like, when you're growing, what used to work for you will not work for you any longer. So you have to find another frequency. It's like you're leveling up. That's what I'm getting. Each week you are leveling up in a different way. You're leveling up in your career, the way you think, the way you define what makes 100% completion in a task. You're looking at the relationships that do not fulfill you. I'm sorry, I had a blank moment here. And that could be what it is like you start the work and then you blank out for a week. And then you're like, oh crap, I was doing something that I should have been doing. And so you get back into it again, and then you blank out again, and you're like, oh my gosh. So it's like these ups and downs, and I can get why Spirit would be very frustrated right now, because you want to control the situation. You want to control this so much. You want to be able to control what is being brought to your attention, and you're trying to ground yourself in the process. But it's like, what Spirit really wants you to know, what your guides are trying to tell you about February, mostly is look and see how you change your energy completely when people start to judge what it is that you are doing, and you can feel it. Because that's going to be your big indicator here of how you're going to have a really good February, is if you can let past judgments go and release any kind of personal mistakes, especially if you turned in something week 1 thinking, oh, he's going to love this. They're going to love the art that I put on this pole right here. And then you turned it in, and then they were like, no, that's not what we wanted. And so you're like, oh, that doesn't make me feel good. I should just change my job completely if you just hate what I just created, even though I love what I created. What I did was very unique. It's much more different than what these people were doing. They were playing it safe, and I made a tree bloom from the top of the building. It's those kind of energies. I'm sorry, I'm getting frustrated on your behalf, because I get that. I get those kind of frustrations. Things like that happen when you want someone to tell you you did a good job and they don't. You try to rise to people's standards. You try to stand in unhealthy ways that aren't suited for our legs, because the ladder is not your legs. Your legs are where your feet are connected, guys. So for pile 3, I want you to look at any time you have divine guidance come in and say, hey, let's look at this a different way. Don't try to finish one thing so fast. Think about what it is that you can be doing and communicate what you hear. If you receive some kind of communication this month, repeat what you hear, write it down. Make sure that whoever you are talking to, whoever is around you, hears this and says, yes, that's exactly what I want. And then always ask, okay, how does this look? Does this look okay? Good? No? Yes? Do I need to go back to the drawing board? No? Okay. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. And then be like, okay, I'm really feeling good about these moments where I'm trying to find ways that I can be successful. But that's the gist of this reading for you guys. And always remember, when find ways to laugh about your mistakes that you make. Maybe someone drew something and it looked this. So we have this tree here, and I'm like, well, they tried to draw a tree, but it looks like a life support system trying to eat the rest of the pole itself. But it's like finding ways to laugh. Get up, go again, get up, go again, get up, go again, but laughing while you're doing it. Let's go ahead and bring your charms and your Scrabble into the mix. All right, guys, here are your charms and your Scrabble. So this letter is actually supposed to be outside over here as a charm, and I will get to that in a second. But here's a message your guide wants you to do. They want you to trust yourself. Trust when you need to jump down, when you need, oh, okay. Be really careful when you're on a ladder. I'm not saying actually jump off a ladder, but if you work with ladders or near ladders or have ladders near your home, be really careful when you are stepping down from a ledge, whether you're going up and down stairs, and try to not fall down. Tumble in a graceful way where you don't hurt everything. But whenever I was originally doing this, it's like, trust to jump into the unknown. Be okay if you tumble. Be okay if you're at the ground and you have to do this in order to work towards your dreams, because this is, it made me think of dreams, but now I'm hearing Dungeon Master. Oh my goodness. Some of y'all play a lot of fantasy, probably play a lot of fantasy type games, but jump down. So if your dreams are on the ground, how can you reach your dreams if you are always in the air? You have to go down. Sometimes you have to fall down. Sometimes you have to remember that you had a dream in the first place. Let's go ahead and unbox your charms. So this is a Sunny Bros pizza toy gift that was my daughter's, and I picked it up out of the floor and threw it in my basket. But this is a box that's saying, please allow yourself to be 100% happy. Allow yourself to see the joy, to be able to eat, especially when you have something you have to put a lot of attention and focus into to build. Don't forget to take care of your needs so you don't lose your energy. So you have the energy to change. And this is an owl right here. So more emphasis on your intuition needing to come through, to trust your gut, to ask questions so you can receive answers that you would like to know about, or answers, but more like, it's like, what do these doors mean to me, Spirit? What do these doors reveal for me? What can I do in this moment? And it's almost like, well, if you would like to know more about these doors, we're going to need you to come down off the ladder and go through one of the doors. It's like straight point, Spirit. And then this is a potion bottle, where you are making sure that you have the lid capped off and you are not letting someone fill this bottle and make you feel as if you're not good enough. And you're not going to drink the poisons that people give to you. You're going to feel good about what it is that you do. Now, this is a passport. So we did have the Eight of Wands in delay, which is a normally fast-moving card, but it's like all the brakes were put on this last week. So when this reading comes to you, think about any kind of legal documentation that you need, whether it's up to date, whether you have your passport still. Think about where you have your documents currently, so that way you can travel if you do want to travel. And this is a wave. And there's this jewel right here where your emotions are kind of like coming in through the moon cycles. And you're being asked to trust the tumble, trust that you're going to be able to, like when you dunk your head in, this is what this is talking about, is like when you dunk your head into the cup to really bring in new love, new relationships, new creativity, new connections with your spirituality. Like, allow yourself to trust that you are not going to be here in the waves. You're actually going to be at the top of them, riding them. And this crane here talks about believing in the luck that you have and making wishes. And pile 2 also talked about making wishes and being the wish fulfiller. So that was a second confirmation for me. I had some hair in it. But you're able to, origami takes skill. It takes time to learn. And at first, when you try to make it, it doesn't look the way you want it to, but it's through this practice and telling yourself, I like the way it looks, but I know it can look better. I know I can change this. It's not being, oh, that's what week 2 is also talking about, is where you're not settling for less. You're willing to change to be more victorious. And this is a sun. So once again, we have the sunny box, and we have this sun telling you to be positive, to remain positive, to know that you are exactly where you need to go, because the sun is illuminating the path during the day for you to follow. And it's the right course. And then last but not least, we have this letter G, but when it fell out of my charm basket, it looked like an arrow kind of going in reverse. So think about how you're having to take a whole bunch of steps and going back, and it's like you take 2 steps forward, taking 3 steps back. That's what this is making me think of. And doing some past work as well, where you're looking into your past so that way you can move forward more smoothly. But that is your reading, my dear Pile 3. If you enjoyed watching this, please like, comment, and subscribe so you can see more content like this. And if you know anybody that may be going through this kind of energy right here that would benefit greatly from this information, please share. Sharing is caring. But I'm going to go ahead and head on over to the other pile, guys. Thank you. Hi, Pile 4, or if you're coming in from another pile, welcome again. Let's go ahead and see what your February insight has to reveal for the theme. So we have Amazonite, objectivity, filter, truth. Filtering vibrations is what Amazonite does best. From electromagnetic pollution, your thoughts, and environmental influences. So if you are prone to environmental sensitivity, Amazonite has your back. This is a great way to cleanse yourself from technology if you need a break from your devices. Amazonite encourages discernment, allowing you to be unbiased in your decision-making. Objectivity leads the way, offering clarity on which choices are best for you. Detach from the outside in order to connect to the inside. So you have Virgo in Uranus. So you're allowing yourself to filter out what is not true to you, what has a negative influence on your environment and your thoughts. And you're basically saying you don't belong here. And it's like, so you're filtering it out and you're seeing what's in it. And then you're looking at what fell below it and you're like, yep, that was meant to fall below. So February talks about purification, and that's wonderful for your pile, especially since you are taking a break from technology, you're taking a break from the media. And I encourage it. If you can step away from your device so that way you can focus on something else around you, you're going to feel so much power return to you. You will feel rejuvenated and you'll be able to make more decisions. And then when you check back into the world, it'll be like you are no longer being fed the same thing. It's like you broke out of the cycle. And it's like you're no longer looking towards what is fueling my energy or what is depleting my energy. You know what that is. You know what is feeding it. And you're going to think about when you step away, you're thinking about, okay, what is really good for me? What could I do to add to this whenever I do return? But you're connecting inside, and I love that. Your self-affirmation for this month is I am transforming. And that may be why you had to step away from the normal, like TVs, the internet, just really any kind of like stimulus that may be going on around. And you're wanting to transform, but you cannot do that in a busy world or a hectic environment or just anything that would prevent you from or remind you or tempt you from doing so. But you're trying to, think of like butterflies. Think about anything that has to go through a metamorphosis. It has to go through these cycles first, but you recognize that you need to do this. So whatever tree you need to climb on, whatever cabin you need to go to, really anything that helps you escape so that way you can do this for yourself. And then the self-love oracle for this month is remember that no one compares to you. And that could be what's very, very beneficial about you stepping away, because you may have been investing a lot of your time into other people's worlds, making their life so much easier, because technology, yes, it does make life easier. And people view you as being this source of information, this source of guidance, this source of, I need to pick up whatever it is that is given to me. And that's why you need to leave. It's like everyone messages you and says, hey, do you think you can do this? Hey. And you're like, hey, slow down. I've got to take a break from this. And when you do, people realize how valuable you are in their life, and that you are so unique in what it is that you give to other people. And they realize there is no one that is like you. Your inner child will need for you to understand you are going in the right direction. On this journey, there will be many voices that call to you of the right way to go. But truly, only you know your path. Sometimes it might seem as though you are lost or that you are going in circles, but trust that you are where you need to be. You will learn all that you need when you surrender to the flow and trust your intuition. It's like you can't trust your intuition if it's blocking you. If all the external factors around you are like saying, hey, look at me, I need you to look at me, and you're like, get out of the way so I can look and see if I'm going in the right direction or if I'm falling in a ditch. And then that's when you come here and you're like, I knew it. I'm falling in a ditch. And not really, but you're trying to see if you're going in the right direction. But you have too many people that have their hand in the pile. Or no, not pile. You have way too many people who have a hand on your wheel when they should not have a hand on your wheel at all. Because that wheel is for you to drive and you to drive only. And what I love about this, and I know I say that quite often, what I love, but I have so much I love. There is this tower that is in the background? Towers often come when something may be fading from our life, and our guides want us to see how they will remove us from a situation for our good, even if we can't understand why it happens. Even if it hurts us, even if it beats us up, it happens for the right reason. And it's so that way we can start going on our own path where we can trust ourselves and trust the divine. So we can do this transformation. And because you have this ability to naturally connect with the environment that you put yourself in, the animals in this picture, these spirit guides want you to see that anyone else they would have ran away from, because they would not have taken the guidance, they would not have taken the necessary changes that needed to happen. They wouldn't have tried to evolve themselves. And they're working with you this month because you will do this. And it's like you're scared to hold on to the reins or the horns. You're looking off into this tower and you're thinking, that's where I'm heading. But if you were to steer it where the deer is looking, then you would avoid this altogether. All right, let's dive into week 1. So we have Temperance in reverse. So week 1, you're going to see a lot of imbalances kind of going on around you. Imbalances at work, imbalances in your relationships. It may even feel like your spirituality may feel a little bit of imbalanced as well. And it's like you're trying to do all these mixes and it's like nothing is working. Why can't I make this work? And it's like, where are you in this current moment? Because that's going to matter. Look at the environment that she's in. She's out in nature as well. This inner child right here is out in nature. And it's like it wants to go where spring is so bad. But there's also some excess here. So excess in what you consume, not just food, not just liquids. It's people, it's anything that you find that you have an attachment to, that you spend way too much time doing. But the Temperance also talks about going within for self-healing and realignment this first week. And that's probably when you will decide to go on this journey, this, I need to step away so that way I can take a break, so I can actually think more clearly and make choices that are good for me, because I'm recognizing that my choices are not good for me this week. In week 2, we have the 5 of Swords in reverse. And normally when it's upright, it talks about conflicts, things that occur. It's where you feel like you're in the heat of the battle. You feel the need to constantly attack. But it's in reverse here. So it's saying you're reconciliating with yourself. Something that you've been fighting for so long, you're finding ways to make amends. Amends with your thoughts, things that you used to think, things that used to give you past resentment. You're finding that you can let them go because you thought about how the imbalances were affecting you and the need to move forward to make amends. Now, this can talk about relationships. This can talk about people that you used to have. Okay, what's the word? Rather than if you had decided to stay with your phone, let me just say this. if you had decided to keep your phone in your hand and you were already in midst of an argument and someone called you out, or you called someone out on their issues or the things that made them very unhealthy as a person to be around or near, rather than keeping the phone with you, you set it aside and just did your own thing. You did your own healing. You did your own work. You let things go. You forgave and did what you needed to do. You found that you were able to fix something here. You were able to make an amend. It's like you were able to cool yourself and then go back in and say, I am sorry that had went out of control in week 1. And I hope you can find ways to forgive me. In week 3, we have the 4 of Wands in reverse. There's a need for personal celebration this last week. So week 2 leading into week 3, or is it week 3 and 4? But think about Valentine's Day weekend, or when people are celebrating, they're having a good time. If you don't have a loved one with you, or if your friends are not near you so that way you can have friendship day with them, find ways to do that with yourself, because no one compares to you. So you should give yourself flowers. You should give yourself a vacation away from things. You deserve to find more inner harmony rather than finding conflict with others, because that's why these weeks are so close together. It's like there was potential for conflict, but we were able to avoid it by stepping away and giving ourselves the break we needed. And the other thing this talks about is transitions. Transitions to a new home, transitions that may be on our mind. Maybe what we currently had was not going to help us any longer, so we needed to look and find something that would, the change that we needed, the change that would give us more stability and structure so that way we can manifest more happiness in our life. But we're transitioning into something that would help us. And you know what I am starting to get from this is, like, week 1, 2, and 3, you stepped away and avoid a lot of this going on. It's like everyone at work or whoever you're with is like, you will not believe who we caught out in town, not with who they were supposed to be. That's what that kind of looks like to me, because it looks like these people are trying to, okay, it's like a romance where you're trying to be very secretive, and and it may cause conflict if people find out that y'all are together, and you're trying to avoid that conflict because everybody has a say or a thing, or they just feel a certain way about it. And that's why you needed to step away, is because when you're around people who are so invested in your relationships, invested in what you're doing with your life, and the outside world is what's causing this instability. So you felt the need to step with your partner or your significant other, your friend, whoever this may be, and give yourselves a little bit of that harmony, since the world was going to be hard about it. That was a lot of different specific. I had that all come in at once. It's like when you were overloaded with so much information at one time, and Spirit's like, I want you to throw that at them, because that's how their life feels like to them. It's like, okay, we're going to go plan on this, and then we're going to go do this, and then we're going to go do that. And then it's like the next thing after the other. It's like, oh my gosh. Oh, that makes me stressed. And this holiday that's coming up for February probably stresses a lot of people out, where they feel like they need to unnecessarily perform in ways that are unnatural, that make you feel temperamental. All right. Oh, and this could be if you have a loved one that is very big about this holiday. There are so many different flowers in this image, where it's like they're leaving you these hints and reminders to not forget what it is that they want, or there is anniversaries this month. I'm also picking up on that. There's like an anniversary this month that you need to think about. How are you going to make this significant other feel special? If you don't have anyone, just remember, give yourself an anniversary, give yourself a celebration, and just allow yourself to just be accepted. Accept yourself in this moment. Week 4, we have the King of Wands. And I love that it's like the last week, it's like victory. I made it out alive. And look at, okay, so this looks like, I think it's a tree, but it looked like a cloak or a jacket of some kind. And it made me think of this, where because you were trusting you were going in the right direction, you felt very good about it. And you were able to point, okay, this is the next way to go. This is where I'm going. And I like that he's pointing at, because you didn't let your pride get in your way. Oh, that was a sweet message, Spirit. Thank you. Okay, guys. So you may not feel comfortable with showing your love and affection to others. And that may be why you feel the need to retreat, especially in a month full of love and self-love and purification. But it means the world to whoever this is when you come. Oh, you're remembering your loved ones. Okay. Because this month also talked about remembering your loved ones and giving them flowers. Okay. How sweet. Such an interesting pile. But thank you for going on the ride with Lisa today. But yes, we have a lot of people that are trying to remember those that have been forgotten, who brought balance to our life, that were so different from the rest of the people that you were around, that compared to no one else. And you were wanting to remember them in a way that you could transform their memory. So that way people didn't say negative things about this person. So people could see that they did have a home that you enjoyed being in so much, and that they were this leader that you looked up to. I know this was supposed to be like weeks, but it's like that all came in at one time, and they brought a lot of balance to your life. So Spirit wants you to understand that this is a guide that just came in at this moment, wanting you to understand that they love you. They see that you're transforming, and they want you to know, just as you feel that no one compares to them, they feel that about you, and they want you to see that. But the King of Wands, leading into week 4, is a natural born leader that has grand visions, that understands what it means to have long-term success. It's somebody that has to keep going and keep trying and learning from their mistakes and not allowing themselves to beat themselves up. It's having the power to take on the challenge and be the determining factor to success. It's thinking about the bigger, better deal that you could be giving yourself in this moment. And leaving, remembering those that you love, remembering those that supported you, making amends, and getting that confirmation you are going in the right direction. I feel like February may be a very emotional month for you, but there's a lot of love and passion that is in the mix here. And yes, it's going to change a lot for you, but you're going to find a lot of healing that needed to come from this, so that way you can step out of the woods and return back to society, because that's what this is leading into, is you're leaving away from this so you can return back to it when you are ready and you are clear about the direction. But let's go ahead and get your charms and Scrabble, guys. All right, here's your Scrabble and your charms. And yes, Spirit is a very funny individual, just so y'all are aware. I've had this happen in another reading before that I've done, where we had old MacDonald had a farm. But let's break this down a bit. because we are doing some inner child work through this. So we have this old nursery rhyme that is coming through, and they want you to think about what is the purpose? What is the base of, what is this based off of? Why is this important? This nursery rhyme, or just nursery rhymes in general. Think about how you can tap into something you used to sing as a child, or these old wise tales that are told to you. But these nursery rhymes were there to help teach the sounds, help us learn vocabulary, help us learn what animals were around us. But everything you knew to be, it's like, well, what sound does this deer make? I couldn't tell you, but it's very quiet here. So it's like you don't want to hear a sound. You just want to hear quietness. But this nursery rhyme talks about innocence and purity. Being able to purify not just yourself, but you're also purifying your inner little one with you. But yeah, look at the base. Look at the base and see what things are based off of. If they're true, if they have meaning, if there's a moral to it. Now for your charms, we have this magic die that came through, and it was on the number 19. So February 19th might be a significant day for you, or this could be number 19 just really calls to you and you just know what it means. But we have the 1 and 9. So 1 talks about new beginnings, opportunities, and this potential. And then the 9 is there's like something is coming to fruition. You are attaining something and it is fulfilling you now. And together making 10, you are ending a cycle. You are beginning something new. You're walking through something. This is a bag, and it wants you to think clearly about what you may be carrying with you when you are going on this journey and what could weigh you down, because you don't want to see that you have distractions in here. You don't want to hear conflict. You're carrying conflict in here. You just want it to be light and empty, so that way you may be able to fill it with what you want to fill it with. And the owl is the reason why I even thought about purity and innocence, and trusting your intuition here about how pure you are and the fact that you do not compare to anybody else, and to trust that. Trust what your subconscious is trying to reveal to you. And then this is a moon. You can take this as a claw, or even like a bull horns, or the nose ring that you may see, and see if there are things around you that are really stubborn, where it's like you're beating your head against a wall. Or if you find that when you are in imbalanced cycles, because this reminds me of the moon as well, if you can illuminate what needs to be healed or what needs to be poured out that may be poisonous to you, so that way you can step away from it. And this is a yin choker, and it hasn't come out in quite a while. And I was wondering if it was ever going to come out. So your divine feminine energy, you do not have to be a woman in order to receive this charm or this guidance. But think about your ability to be able to flow, not be able to control things, but to let things kind of transition and kind of like alchemize the way they should, and just trusting that you are being guided, that you are not just being set up. You're not being, it's like, is this for real? Is this really what I'm supposed to have? And he's like, is someone going to take this from me? It's that kind of energy. Just trust it. And I never thought about the fact that I had these cards in here And then I had this, I forgot that this was in there, but this is a gravestone. This is what this symbolizes to me. And this deck, this whole deck is the, I think it's the Dead, if I can find its box. Santa Muerte Tarot. Santa Muerte Tarot. So, Saint Death. So there is a lot of symbolism here about honoring your loved ones, honoring those who are no longer with us, and to give them peace of mind to keep moving forward, to remember them in an honest way that is respectful, that does not hinder you, where you feel as if you're going to keep carrying this. This is what they don't want you to carry with you. They want you to remember them, but they don't want you to carry that with you forever, because you will have no room for anything else to fit in here. The other thing that this tombstone talks about, because oftentimes I'll find it with the Ten of Swords, is knowing when something needs to be buried and not unburying it up. It's ending something that should have been ended long time ago. But this has a positive connotation. I just want to say that. Your reading has been very, very thoughtful. And it makes me think of my own loved ones and how long it's been since I've honored them, put flowers on their grave, and just remembered them and how they were so different and how they embodied my want and my need to just constantly transform and grow and just be a leader. So I love that y'all had this come through for y'all. And y'all were probably like, where's my relationship? What do you mean my relationship is with the dead? Your relationship needs to happen when you have done the healing that you need to be doing, by stepping away from the external world so you can put things to rest. And then when you return, this King of Wands, there may be an offer towards the end of this month. And if you're already in a relationship, you're working really hard on how to make it more stable, more joyful, where there's not so many conflicts going in. You're not trying to read somebody's mind. You're actually listening to what they want and trying to give them that. And if you can't make them happy, no matter how much you try, step away so that way you can be successful. So they can remember that they're like, oh yeah, they really did do a lot for me this month. Oh my goodness. Why did I do that? Why did I get so mad at them? They gave me exactly what I want. It's that kind of energy that I'm getting. But what's the term? When you have been away from someone for so long, it makes you more fond of them. That's my cat Loki in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. If you enjoyed this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know in the comments what you got from this reading, how it resonated for you, because I'm curious to hear what may be reaching someone. But I enjoyed this. Bye, guys.